It's lunchtime again, and today we're going to talk about the Liver King. Actually, the guy's name is Brian Johnson, aka the Liver King, and his meteoric rise, some of the criticisms he has faced. I want to try and make some different points than you may have seen on the internet. If you don't know who the Liver King is, let's take a look really briefly just to kind of get an understanding. So if we can see here from his profile picture, he is jacked. He's holding a raw, what looks like it's raw liver. And if you look throughout, just scrolling through his Instagram, he is peeled. Now, typically, people are going to talk about his natural status, and from the looks of it, it seems pretty obvious that he is using some sort of anabolic. He has to be on some sort of exogenous hormones. Is it possible that he's not? Yeah, sure. But that's not really what I want to do. I don't want to do a natty or not. I just want to talk about the morality of what people are claiming that he's doing. And a lot of this is going to be introspective. So first, just to get an idea of the type of stuff that this guy does on his Instagram, let's just look at this first video.
Liver King here, our early ancestors prized seafood. So much so that even when tribes were at war with one another, those that were landlocked would trade with the enemy to procure the stuff. I eat seafood once a week with my tribe every Wednesday, skin on, bone in sardines. And if you can't do that, you can do what a bear does. Go straight for the source and get the eggs.
So he's squeezing caviar straight from the source.
More. Okay. That has all the goodness of the egg and the sea life. And that's how you do it like a bear. Liver King out.
Okay, so he's in a lot of his videos he's eating crazy stuff. I'll mute this, but he eats a lot of raw eggs, bone marrow, obviously raw liver, a bunch of different organs, raw testicles, crazy stuff like that. His whole thing is promoting these tenets: bond, eat, shield, move, sun, fight, cold, connect, sleep. And those tenets are, they're based off of his idea of the ancestral lifestyle. Again, I don't really want to talk too much or about, whether what he's doing is right or wrong. What I do want to point out is that his first post was in August 18th. And we are literally 3 months and 1 day from that post, and he has 457,000 followers. Now 476,000. Man, he's gone up 1K since I wanted to record this video to this current recording. That is insane. And of course, after you see this, if this gets pushed around the algorithm enough, he will continue to blow up. The brilliant part about what the Liver King is doing is there is an aspect of healthy living to what he's doing. Go outside, be closer to nature, be physical, sleep right, eat right, do natural things. The problem, again, that most people are pointing out is that a massive part of his promotion of these things is his physique. And most would say that his physique is not attainable naturally, nor is it attainable through the things that he's continually promoting. But again, I want to focus on some of these takes. My good friend James Smith, he was just in Austin for a few weeks. We trained in jiu-jitsu. I was on his podcast. He was on my YouTube channel. He had a nice take, and it's blowing up a little bit. When you hear hooves, you think horses, not zebras. For decades now, we've seen athletes fill themselves up to the brim with anabolic steroids, then conveniently point to their supplement stack, which you can buy now. Swipe up. Don't see why this is any different, bar the fact that this geezer eats raw testicles. Guy's got a banging chest and a beard combo, but he's about as legit with his words as Matt Hancock. I didn't know who Matt Hancock was, but Nsima and Mark Bell on Mark Bell's Powercast pointed this out, and they actually looked it up. He's a corrupt UK politician, I believe. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Now, again, this is the typical response. I've already pointed this out. Derek from More Plates, More Dates has talked about this exact thing. In fact, that's kind of what Derek from More Plates, More Dates has done. Nsima and Mark Bell responded to this by saying there shouldn't be as much negativity in this call-out culture. It's interesting to hear that. And not saying that it's wrong or anything like that. But is it our duty, people with prevalent channels, to point these things out? Obviously, I have pointed out, things that I believe are wrong or morally wrong on this channel. Did it make a difference? I don't know. The funny thing is the morality of it, something that Owen pointed out. And if you guys do not follow Owen and Fitz and Seek a Strength, go to subscribe to Seek a Strength right now. Owen made a video about this exact thing, and he has a great point. We're calling people out on the morality of them making money, and while we're doing it, we are making money. So it caused me to be very introspective about this whole thing. I have capitalized on the very essence of the thing that I deem unworthy of capitalization. The brilliance of Brian Johnson, or the Liver King, is that people who agree with him and disagree with him will continue to consume his content. Now, any time that you have this meteoric rise where there is, maybe less organic reach or organic following. I would say that I have a pretty organic following. I grew very slowly over the course of the past 4 years. Would I like to have 476,000 Instagram followers? Yeah, I don't even have that many followers on my Instagram and YouTube combined. I would like to have that, but the problem is how much of this is gimmick and how much of this is going to last the test of time. I don't know. This guy, if he keeps going where he's going and doing what he's doing, he could be on Rogan. It's pretty crazy. It's Derek from More Plates, More Dates could be on Rogan. And the interesting thing about Derek is that, and this is something that Owen points out, is that Derek really hasn't been, it's not that he hasn't been called out himself. There have been people who he said are not natural, who have defended themselves against him. He always ends up out on top. And maybe that's just because he's a nice guy. Maybe it's because he's correct a lot of the time. But is there a chance that it's a possibility of people being like, the kind of the mob mentality? And while I say this, I have criticized people, and people have gone and said, hell yeah, Zach, you're correct, and then admonished the people that I've criticized. So I understand it. I get the whole point. It's just some things like this cause me to be very introspective. At the end of the day, I think and Owen put this very eloquently in his video. It's net negative, net positive. Does it matter that he's on steroids? Will it affect the world in a positive or negative direction? We don't really know the answer to that. And the coolest thing that Owen pointed out was Carl Sagan's Dragon in the Garage. And I don't want to entirely take what Owen said. I'll give a brief description, but you guys definitely have to watch this video. I will link it in the description. But essentially, any lie can continually be a lie because it's impossible to prove. I have a dragon in my garage. Okay, let's see the dragon. Well, here's the thing. The dragon is invisible. Okay, well, if the dragon's invisible, why can't I touch it still? Well, that's because it's floating above you. Okay, can the dragon breathe fire? Yeah, it can breathe fire. Okay, well, why isn't the fire hot? Well, that's because it's invisible fire and you can just keep on making things up and up. If someone wants to accuse someone of steroids, there's absolutely no way that you can catch them. And even if you do catch them, it is within their bounds to defend themselves, either making something up or trying to create this moral response to it. And the opposite thing could be said too. If you are natural, it's impossible to prove that you're natural. And I don't really know if it's about proving or disproving. If the Liver King is doing a bunch of gimmicks and clout things, how long will it last? Will he end up benefiting these people? And honestly, maybe he has. Maybe he has already. I do gimmicky things on my Instagram. I do gimmicky things here. Goddamn, lunchtime content. These little meta things are somewhat gimmicky, but it's how I am. And I'm going to make money off of these gimmicky things. It's very interesting to think about. I'm going to continue to disagree with people. I like to talk about these things. The crazy thing about this is, like, yesterday I went to a comedy show, Daniel Sloss comedy show, and I sat with my buddy Chris Williamson, and then after we went out and had some drinks, and we talk about things like this And then after I talk about those things, I remember these points, and then I come here and I turn on the camera and I talk to you. It's not just me being like, I want to think of something viral to talk about today. This is just how I am. And this in particular, like I continually battle with the morality of calling people out, of doing it myself. If I think too much about it, I just freeze up and I can't move. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. I want to, first off, know what you're eating for lunch. And if it's something raw like the Liver King, better. But also, I want to know what you guys think. A lot of my comment section can just really deliver these eloquent responses that are better than I could ever come up with. And I'm genuinely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next one.